Funny response about abortion. When people are like, I'm like, yeah, I'm against abortion. And they're like, well, I mean, so what are all these black women supposed to do with their babies? And just be like, I'd buy them. You know, like, I'll put them to work. Is it better to kill them than let me buy them? Right? And that's a really funny debate when people just spiral, oh, slavery's so bad, it's so bad, we got to kill them all. Why is it, if like a black woman's going to have an abortion, why not just let me buy it? Right? Free labor for life. Yeah, we call it a rapper's dozen. Because I'd really like to see the argument that killing someone is more moral than just buying them. Okay.
Before I actually get into this, I have to give a shout out to Kid Gravity, because if it wasn't for him, I would not have even known about this, because he talked about this individual in a live stream that he did recently. And by the way, I'm recording this video on November 30th, 2023. And he did the live stream on November 29th, 2023. He did it on some other people too, but this one really stuck out to me when I first saw it. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, here they go. And this right here, what you just heard, is more proof and more, I guess you could say, more added credence to why I say they are their ancestors. I might actually title this video "Proof That They Are Their Ancestors." So this person's name is Owen Benjamin. I did not know who this man was from a can of paint up until yesterday when Kid Gravity talked about him on his channel, and I had to go and look him up, because even then I still didn't know who he was. And according to what I saw, it said that he was some kind of internet personality. He was a conspiracy theorist. Apparently he had a very small stand-up career, and he had like minor roles on different television shows and maybe even a couple of movies. And now this is what he's been reduced to doing. Have you all noticed that a lot of them considerably take the same type of career path when they hit rock bottom? It's like they have some kind of a career that may have worked out for them just a little bit, then they probably pissed someone off and then got kicked out of their career, and then now what they do is they get on the internet and they troll, and then they typically like to troll black people. Look at Michael Rappaport, for example. You know, he had a career in acting. I remember seeing him, of course, you know, in various movies back in the day in the 90s and whatnot. He probably had a little stand-up career too, and then he did something to piss them people off, and then he got kicked out of Hollywood, and now he's been reduced to being a jackass all over social media, twerking up and down people's timelines, yelling into the camera and talking about black people all damn day and all this, that, and the third. So this Owen Benjamin is pretty much doing the same exact thing. It's all a grift. They literally have to have something to do, but they find a way to throw black people into the mix every single time they get an opportunity to do so. So he went on the internet and he made this video right here that y'all just watched, and he's talking about abortion. And he made sure to make the topic, specifically if you want to talk about race, pertaining to abortion, about black people and black women. And then he's talking about, you know, instead of them just giving an abortion, you know, and killing their babies, why don't I just take them? You know, I'll just take them and then put them to work. When I tell you again that they are their ancestors, this guy's literally trying to enact a practice that his ancestors literally did to our ancestors 400 plus years ago. Oh, well, not 400 plus years ago, but over the course of 400 years. He's literally saying that in 2023. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. But remember, we always said that we like our races, you know, out in the open, so we know who we're dealing with. That way, if anybody happens to see this dude, I'm gonna just leave it right there. Some of y'all probably will probably cross him and never even know who this guy is, because you never seen him before or never heard from him. Again, I didn't know who he was until yesterday, and he made sure to make his presence be known, and he most likely got on here because that's probably one, what he actually believes, and two, he needed the attention. And what better way to do it than to say something like this? He literally is sitting here saying to us that if we could go back to the times of antebellum chattel slavery, he most definitely would. And the thing about it is, he's not the only one that thinks or feels this way, but he's one of the few that actually got online in front of millions of people, probably more, and actually said this and got on camera for less than a minute and literally said that he would literally snatch or take black babies away from black women, you know, to avoid them having, if they just so they just wouldn't get an abortion, and then said I will put them to work. That's literally a slave master mentality, and he's saying that he wants black babies to be the slaves. That's what he wants to go back to. Keep in mind, I just did a video about that man, I forget his name escapes me right now, that I just did, who was on Charlie Kirk talking about slave masters, you know, some kind of benefit. I forget, y'all know exactly what video I'm talking. I just put it up there, but like I said, I talk about so many things, sometimes the details get fuzzy, and he was basically trying to relive that type of history and try to rework it and everything like that. This is the second time y'all are seeing this. I want y'all to understand, many of them are going to start coming out and saying this out loud. No longer are they going to keep those thoughts internal or in-house. They're going to start getting on camera, and have started getting on camera, like these two, for instance, and telling you they wish to go back to that time because they want to be or have lived the part that their ancestors were able to live through. Because see, they, of course, by the time they came around, clearly, because they're still here, they never got to experience that, but they wish to go back to that. Whenever they keep telling you make America great again, we know exactly what it is that they're talking about. I told y'all before about how when Donald Trump was running for campaigning for president back in 2016, they were going around asking various supporters of his, what does make America great again mean to you? And they could never answer the damn question. But we know what the answer was, but they weren't going to say out loud what it meant to them or how they could define it. They weren't going to say that to the world. But I'm sure behind closed doors and in-house, they told people what that meant to them and what it means. And I'm sure it's the same thing we think. It's to go back to a time when they were very, very in a superior position, going back to Jim Crow, going back to segregation. Hell, like with this guy here, going even further back to slavery. Because again, America was only great for a particular group for many, 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 many years. And even to this day, it's still great for them. They're crying and bitching and complaining now because they feel like some of their power is slipping away, but it's not all the way gone. I always tell them, I said, don't worry. You don't have to be upset when you wake up in the morning and you go to the bathroom and you look in the mirror, and just realize Dub S is still there. It's still there. But see, the thing is, they feel like whenever they keep hearing the word diversity and this, that, and the third, that word diversity is like kryptonite to them. They hate that damn word. They hate it. So whenever they hear that word, they go into panic mode, because that word is like, oh, the more and more I hear that word, the more and more I see it, that means the more and more our power is just slowly but surely slipping away from us. Then they go into panic mode. But yeah, he got up on social media and put this video out there, and this is how he feels. And like I said, if anybody comes across him, he should be dealt with accordingly. He literally just told black people he wants to go back to slavery. He wants to go back to that. He literally just told you that. And don't think that just because he was a quote unquote stand-up comedian, which I'm very sure it was a short-lived run and a very unfunny one too, that he's joking. He's not joking. And even if he was, they always say there's some truth in jokes. If this was a dark comedy, he's still telling the truth. This is what he wants to go back to. And like I said earlier, many others feel and think the same way. They just haven't said it out loud yet. But give them some time and give them a little bit of energy and courage. Once they build that up, they'll be just like him. All it takes is one. I keep telling y'all about domino effects. Whenever one domino falls, the rest are going to fall, and it's going to be like that until the last one falls. I just got to add this one last thing in there. To the divestors out there, is this your king or nah?